more into its characteristics. So when you talk about polluting pollution of the wastewater, you always have the organic load as a main criteria. That what is really polluting our wastewater. It's a lot of loading which is included there, but you have one big parameter which is just called the organic load, which needs to be degraded in a wastewater treatment plant. When you say your organic load of the domestic wastewater is 100%, as it's shown here in the graph, you see that around 40% of that load is from the gray water and about 60% is in the black water. But when you want to when you want to have a look at these 60% in detail, you see that more than 50% of the organic load is in our brown water. When you just remember the graph before, in the kind of volume, the volume of the brown water is negligible. So when you think about all the water which is as wastewater in your houses, the feces, it's really in amount of volume, nothing, but the organic load is very high. Furthermore, all the toxic substances are in this brown water. So one main reason why you separate the gray water and the black water is the pollution of the yellow water and the brown water. I want to show this here once again with two substances which are nitrogen and phosphorus. Nitrogen and phosphorus you use in agriculture for fertilizing, but if you have too much of this nitrogen and phosphorus, you have a lot of negative impacts in agriculture, but as well in lakes and rivers. When you have here on the y-axis, once again, the 100% of load of nitrogen, you see that the gray water is around 10%, and the black water contains around 90% of the nitrogen. And here, a lot of that is in the yellow water. The same or quite similar is for the phosphorus. Here also, a lot of the phosphorus is in this yellow water. As I said before, nitrogen and phosphorus can also be used as fertilizers. So one idea about this source separation in domestic wastewater recycling is also to recycle these nitrogen and phosphorus out of your black water to have it for certain other purposes later on, as for example, as fertilizer. So here that is mainly the one of the big issues, that you have a quite clean gray water and a very polluted black water. When we summarize these aspects, we can say that the gray water has a higher volume than black water. The organic yes?
Isn't false? Gray water has a higher volume than black water?
That when you have a look at your house, and the gray water is all the wastewater. Okay.
Okay. Sorry.
And the organic pollution in gray water is significantly lower than in black water. So here you can really say gray water is the clean wastewater in comparison to the black water. Here also the nutrients as nitrogen and phosphorus are mainly contained in the black water. So when you have a look here, not separated in yellow and brown water, just the black and the gray water, here you see really the amount of nitrogen and phosphorus and that of the gray water. So you see here the main reason for this domestic wastewater recycling, which is also called source separation. when we have now talked about the question of which wastewater streams occur in households, as well as the characteristic of these individual domestic wastewater streams, we need to talk now about the treatments which would be useful for a decentralized wastewater treatment. Do you have any ideas? What would you, when you now know that your gray water is not that polluted, your black water is highly polluted, maybe also with the urine, the feces as yellow and brown water. Do you have any ideas or solutions with what you would say which can be used for a decentralized wastewater treatment?
Maybe boiling the water?
Yes, but when you boil water, of course, you have clean water, but normally boiling, you need a lot of energy for boiling.
Okay.
So that is main.
You can use filters, perhaps.
Yes, that is the first step for the wastewater treatment.
Teacher, we can use sand, stone, and other things to have a treatment of the water, right?
Yes, yes. Okay. This is a good. That is also one of filtration treatment, what your colleague has just mentioned before. So these sand filtration is often used for the gray water because you don't have any harmful substances. When you do the sand filtration with the black water, you have a lot of odor. When you think of your toilet wastewater and you just give it into the sand, you still have the odor, you still have the toxic substances from, for example, your pharmaceutical residues, etc., what is all in the black water. For the gray water, this is a very good treatment, and it's also used, and that is why you do this source separation, because you can use cheaper technologies for the gray water and treatment and then recycling.
Teacher, what's
other ideas?
What's the healthy water?
Sorry, once again, please.
The healthy water.
Yes.
What's the healthy water?
I think he's asking if the water that is recycled from black water could be usable or suitable for drinking, for instance.
So there you need to know, normally you can treat each and every wastewater to drinking water purposes. That is possible for each treatment, and the challenge are just the cost. And then the behavior of the people, if you would really drink the clean water when you know that it was in the toilet just before. So that is more about the behavior of the people, but it's not a challenge for the technology, but for the costs. And when you talk about decentralized wastewater treatment, which is for the households, it would be too expensive. That can be more used for the gray water treatment. Let's have a look at some examples, then you can more understand about these streams. Here it's one called Lulu Process, that is black water recycling process. Here you have one box with the toilet. First, you have the solids removal, which one of you said you need a filtration. Of course, you have a lot of solids. These solids often can easily used in a biogas plant. There you have solids. You also have chicken dung and so on. So here also these solids from the brown water can get into the biogas plant. You have a collecting tank, and then you have a bioreactor. a bioreactor is useful for all the wastewater treatment plants. You have a biological process, and these species which are living there, the microbiological reaction, they degrade all the organic load that the water is clean afterwards. Still, you need to have a filtration. Often it's ultrafiltration, as when you have the bacteria which are cleaning your water, you never want to have them in your water. So you need to have a filtration that they stay in your reactor. Here, the black water recycling process has the objective of using your water once again for flushing. So you have a closed loop. That's why it's also called Lulu Process. You have just left out of your brown water for the solids, and then you reuse the water. After the ultrafiltration, your water is already clean. But when you flush the toilet with yellow water, normally the people don't want to use that, because when you have a colorful water, you think directly on wastewater, even if the chemical parameters show that it's clean water. So you have here decolorization step. That is one process where you save a lot of water, because you use a lot of water for flushing the toilet, as we have seen in one of the first graphs. Other ideas are also vacuum toilets, which can be used. Then you don't need a lot of flushing water, so you save the water before using such a recycling process. I come to one example later, which is with the vacuum toilet in combination with gray water recycling processes. Here we have a list of gray water processes. You have here this sand filtration, which one of you has mentioned. This is possible. You have a constructed wetland. These are plants as reed, for example, which is cleaning your water. And then you have all the high technology processes which are used in normal wastewater treatment plants or industrial wastewater plant. You have all these are biological treatment processes with just different technologies. Optional, you have a treatment for the disinfection, which can be done by UV or ozone treatment. And then you have different applications, and depending on the application, you need to check if you need to use optional treatments. If you have potable urban uses, of course, you need a disinfection. When you use it for landscape irrigation or agricultural irrigation, you don't need to have a disinfection. So for the gray water, the two processes here at the top, the sand filter and the constructed wetland, are very, in comparison to the technologies below, very cheap processes, but they are completely efficient for the gray water, as it's not that polluted. So when we normally do this lecture, I just wanted to show this review of my lecture of environmental engineering here. We draw the houses with the different streams, which we have talked about at the beginning. We also have the bottles of different wastewater streams to just have also a visual aspect of it. And then we create scenarios how to treat that. So we don't have that much time. That's why I just present some possibilities to do these scenarios. And I want now to come to really application examples which are used here in Germany, which we have visited. One example is a student resident. It's called Eastside, which is in Mannheim, which is a big city near Heidelberg. And here we have a gray water recycling process. We have filtration, a biological treatment, and an ultrafiltration. And this water is reused for toilet flushing. So with the Blackwater Lulu process, which I have shown you, this can also be used for the gray water. Here you can also reuse this gray water with a quite easy treatment to reuse it for flushing. Here you have just a photo for the impression how these student residents look like. And in the cellar, you have the tank for the gray water, your treatment, and then you have your clean water, which is used for toilet flushing. Normally 44 liters per day are used for flushing the toilet for one person in a day. Round about 200 liters are the whole water consumption. So you save a lot when you have recycled water for toilet flushing. Another application example is a whole area. This is a whole residential area in Germany, and it's a quite ecological village with different aspects which we have talked about. Here we have a vacuum toilet, so we don't have the flushing water. A vacuum toilet, you might know from trains or from planes, there you always have also the vacuum toilets. Then you only have the black water, so the volume is not that high. And with this black water, you go in a biogas plant, as also in one of these examples before. When you have the biogas plant, you gain biogas, and with that you have heat and electricity. So this village gets its heat and electricity out of its black water. In addition, you have here the kitchen waste, the bio waste, you also give that in the biogas plant. Furthermore, you have a storage for the digestate, which you can give into the agriculture for fertilizing aspects. Then our other water, when we talk about source separation, we have our gray water. Here it's showing once again, shower, bathroom, washing, that are the main aspects from the washing room and also from the kitchen. Here we have a reed bed filter, so a constructed wetland. So this wastewater don't get into a wastewater treatment plant. It just get into such a constructed wetland, and then you have the water which is getting, for example, with the stormwater for the infiltration. And they have also a small lake there. So the whole residential area does not need to have or give their water to a wastewater treatment plant. All that water stays in that ecological village, and you even get heat and electricity out of that. And this only is possible because you have the source separation. When you have here a mix of black and gray water, you cannot give it into the constructed wetland, then the plants are not able to clean it to our purposes. But our grain water, which is not that polluted, it's completely possible, as the substances as nitrogen and phosphorus are much lower. So this is our main example how you really can use it for a whole village. Here it's just for you that you, as I talked about the constructed wetlands, but what is really a constructed wetland for gray water? You have here plants, so here you see, I put also here some pictures from a constructed wetland which I have worked with. You have different plants which are cleaning your water. You have here the inlet. You also, of course, need some air for the treatment, so that's why you have an air pipe as well. And then you have the water, and afterwards you have the clean water. Of course, you also need to do water quality tests, but as your gray water is not that polluted, such a simple technology is sufficient to clean the gray water. When we talk about this domestic wastewater recycling, I also want to go shortly to another topic, which is often combined with this aspect now in the research. This is the future of roof greening in cities. So you know that the climate change has a big impact also to the cities because they're heating up in the summer. But trees or green is cleaning that due to their evaporation effect. So possibilities are that you collect and store the rainwater for using for toilet flushing or in washing machines, so you save water. Others are that you clean the gray water on the roof surfaces of houses or also car parks in constructed wetlands or also in biofilters. So this is possible. Or you can also use your purified gray water for irrigation. For example, when you have really intensive roof areas, or also when you have big cities where you have hot summers, you can use it for evaporation in water retention boxes. So with these domestic wastewater recycling, you can have also in the field of blue-green city approaches for cities, you can use this as aspect for domestic wastewater recycling as well. Here it's one example of a constructed wetland also on the rooftop, as it might be possible here on the picture. It's used for cleaning process water, so not the domestic wastewater, but also process water. It's on the rooftop of a company also in Mannheim of John Deere. So they're using to recycling their process water, which is also not that polluted. One aspect for roof greening, I just want to show you this new area. It's called Goethe Quartier. This is in Offenbach, and this is a pioneering concept of rainwater management. They use all the rainwater which is coming. They store it. They don't. So they have with these roof greening. They also fight against flooding if they come in rainy seasons or so on. Which also we're having also some floods of our river here in Germany. So this is just one example, which is not directly linked to the domestic wastewater recycling, but as we had at the beginning, talked about rainwater as one source in domestic wastewater. We can also use this for greening up the villages or cities. That was my last example. So thank you for your attention, and just let me know any questions you have.
So thanks, Professor Ulrich. It was really interesting. And I have a couple of questions. We are also streaming to YouTube. So I have my personal questions and some that was wrote on YouTube. And you students also can open your microphones in video to ask anything you want. So during your talk, I remember that a video that I saw with Bill Gates. They started with Blackwater, actually, and it's a filter in an initiative that Bill Gates was like investing. And at the end, he drinks the water that was derived from the Blackwater.
Yes.
So I would like to ask if you see this video and what sorts of filtration.
So I know that video, and when I walk more in the field of domestic wastewater recycling while I have done my PhD, my old professor, he's also doing all the same, because we had such a Lulu process with cleaning the black water, and there to showing the people that it's clean water, the best is to drink it. So that's why he also do that. For the treatment, you need a filtration, you need a biological treatment. Most important is that you have a disinfection step at the end as well. So when you don't have a disinfection, you also have it in your water supply system. So you need that as well. You would never die if you just take a dip, but if you really use it, always you need to have the disinfection. That's what I meant when you can clean everything. It's just the cost.
Okay. And also we have this concern with coronavirus on the black water and other kind of microorganisms. But I think you have said that usually by UV or ozone, right? That you make the disinfection.
Yes. Yes, there are a lot of researchers right now regarding the COVID in the wastewater, so that you know about the hotspots due to the wastewater, because even in your feces you also show the virus even if you're not sick and you don't have any systems for that.
I'm really happy that people submitted those questions, because those were actually 2 questions that I had in mind. Same questions. I think we all maybe had them.
So I also think it's very interesting, the thing with the rooftops. And I don't know, I know it's domestic, but I did not understood if it's a thing that the own company does or is related to the government, or it's a thing that happens in-house.
Yeah, so that's more depending. When you have it as this really big areas, normally it's from the city, right? But of course you can also do that on your own rooftop. So in Germany we have regulations for everything. So if you want to do something at your garden in your house, you need to ask the government as well, even if it's owned by your own. And you need to be sure. That's why you can only do that with gray water, that you don't have a smell, right? When you would use black water, it would smell, and your neighbors would hate you.
Nice. So you have a question from Isabel. Isabel, I would like to invite you to open your video and microphone so you can ask the question, but I can read if you don't want. Just tell me in the... Okay.
I see it in the chat. It's a really, really great question. Really good.
So she said, I read a lot of articles that were about the possible ends of humanity due to lack of water in 50 years, since we probably wouldn't have enough water for the entire population. Could that be reverted, solved, or delayed with the domestic wastewater recycling and other gray water and black water treatments?
So the main advantage is that these technologies can also be used in areas where you don't have a lot of money. So normally, we have a lot of water in the world. When you have a quite rich country at the sea, you can use desalination technologies, and you always have drinking water. But for this, you need a lot of energy and you need a lot of cost. So normally people don't have the money really to do that. And so there you need to search for cheaper solutions which can be used worldwide. And this is one topic which just save water. And when you save water just with reducing the flushing water, you can use this drinking water for other purposes.
Right, thank you. So I think Guilherme Vitoriano also asked some couple of questions in the chat. So Guilherme, if you want to open your microphone.
Hello.
Hi.
I don't have any questions anymore.
So he already asked it during the presentation. So
what I have just heard, what Stephanie talked about at the beginning, we have 2 events in Germany which are dealing with these purposes. So where I would like to invite you as students, as nowadays a lot is online, you can also attend these 2 events. I just go on with this slide. So we have the World Water Day on March 22nd. And there we have an online digital conference with international water experts. There we also have topics regarding the COVID pandemic and the comparison with wastewater, for example. Furthermore, we want to have an online poster exhibition, and so I also want invite you to submit your poster, and we award also the posters. We have created a world map on the Padlet. I guess Steffi will also send the link into the chat. So here I invite you to upload your poster, and that we will create a great world map. The winner poster is also wins a participation at our summer school. I would also highlight the summer school. This is financed by the German exchange office. So you also, we have quite a good event. We did it last year. So watch also our videos on YouTube to have a look at that. So here you have the link to our World Water Day. Everybody is invited to participate. And then we have each year now our summer school Mecca Now, which is our international summer school with approaches this year towards resilient cities. So this is combined with the topic of roof greening, for example, stormwater, and so on. So I invite you, so those are interested to learn more about the resource water, just join our events in the coming month.
Dr. Guy, I noticed Alessandro had their hand up. Alessandro, did you have a question or?
Yeah,
please.
Yes.
So earlier you talked about purified gray water being used in irrigation. And so I wonder, is it safe for drinking?
No. So you can use it for irrigation, but it's not. So when you have a disinfection, then you use it for drinking water purposes. But when you just use it for irrigation with the EPA treatment, you still have pollutants that it's not drinkable.
Okay. Does it still have solids or no?
Sorry, a challenge to clean it or
solids? Does it have like organic matter, or is
yes,
it just
they have organic matter. In the black water is much more organic matter than in the gray water, but still gray water is a wastewater. So still there's organic load. So just from your shampoo, you have the organics in the water.
Okay, so thank you.
That harmful, it's not drinking water.
Okay, thanks.
So if there anyone who wants to ask another question, we are still open. No.
If you want, I can show them the Padlet since we have a few minutes left.
Okay, Stephanie.
Because I thought this was really cool. I don't know if Dr. Guy had seen it yet. I don't think I got a chance to say hi at the beginning, but I'm Stephanie and I work in the international office at the university, and I work together with Efígie as their main contact at the university. So you're in really good hands with them, and if you have questions, they can always come to me and I'll get them connected with everybody at the university. But may I ask for the host rights so that I can share my screen for the Padlet?
I can also open it, Stephanie.
I think Stephanie has to stop sharing. Then you will be
You see
able.
my...
Sorry, I think now you can, Stephanie.
I just did it. I think, can you see the world map?
Yes.
Yeah. So I thought this was really cool because you can see the people who are going to be going to the event. They're from literally all around the world, and they're bringing their input and ideas into this. I'm the one over in California in the US because that's where I'm from. But you even have colleagues and experts. They're all joining this.
Yeah. So just you can just add a new point and just upload any topic which is the relevant water to me. So what does water mean to you? Why is it important? Any solution or just anything what you like to. So one colleague from Ecuador, she took part at our summer school last year. She showed here is a timeless treasure. So you're welcome to upload any ideas and be part of our online poster gallery.
I think that Maria Clara is trying to make a question. I've seen someone open the microphone.
I just muted the microphone because I am.
So,
and I don't want to bother you.
anyone?
I think somebody maybe has their microphone on by mistake. If not, if we're wrong, just write in the chat, because obviously it wasn't properly. Sorry.
I hear someone saying hi.
Yeah, me too. If you want to write in the message, it works as well. Or if you want to open the microphone. Right. So I would like to thank everyone from being here. Thank you, Professor Ulrich, Stephanie, and also all the students that have participated. You can have your certification from the Simpla website. So you also can be in contact with us and SRA as well. And thank you so much, guys.
Thank you so much, everyone, for hosting us, and thank you, Dr. Guy, for joining. I learned everything new today. This was really interesting for me also. So thank you so much.
Thanks a lot. You're welcome, and thanks for inviting me to do that lecture.
All right, so cheers, everyone. Drink your water and appreciate it.
Bye-bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye. Take care.
Bye.